All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you very much for joining me here on Sell More Homes Now on YouTube or on my podcast at theredpillinvestor.com. This is where I definitely go ahead and share all of this information that I can for you for when I'm prospecting every day, or for when I'm out there in the field on presentations, or if I see something that I think would be of value to you, like that 1031 exchange class. Whenever I see those sorts of things, I tend to go ahead and put the recording on so that you can be a fly on the wall. And I hope that this is helpful for you. So if it is, please do me a favor, share it on your social media. Let people know about this so that it might bless other people as well. So today, just like every other day, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and jump into some expired listings. It's 8:26 in the morning on May 23rd. It's a little later than I'd hoped. As you guys know, I always like to start right at 8 a.m., if not a little bit earlier. Unfortunately, it takes me a little bit longer to get ready and get everything started, a little bit longer than I'd hoped. So I'm hoping that you guys are having a really powerful day, that you guys have taken the time to go ahead and get all of your things together. Let's go ahead and get everybody situated. We've got our microphone ready. We've got our leads ready. I've got some really important news for you today. You'll definitely want to stick in for the final news piece that I've got for you today, and I will be sure to cover this. It's called The Best Days of the Year to Sell a Home Revealed. Believe it or not, there is a statistic that says what are the 9 days of the year that would offer a U.S. home seller a premium on their property. I mean, what is this? I mean, if you've been in real estate for more than 10 minutes, you undoubtedly know that some days are better than others. But did you know that there are 9 days out of the year that could tell your seller statistically that they could get 10% more on the sales price? If you're a realtor, this is information you're definitely going to want to stay in tune for. I'm also going to cover the home ownership rate in the United States is dropping. Yes, it's actually dipping in the first quarter. It's the first time in 2 years that we've had that happen. Also, we're going to cover Florida home prices. You know, Florida, I gotta love them. They are such a great state. They always do their own thing. They're kind of like Texas in that regard. Well, it turns out that Florida, their home prices and their sales are continuing to rise, even though everything else around them sometimes seems to be going down. Florida has got a mind of its own, so God bless them. All right, well, listen, let's go ahead and get started prospecting today. We've chit-chatted long enough. Let's make sure we go ahead and help the families in our areas. Let's take this to the Lord in prayer that we might begin in the right mindset. Lord, I just ask that you'd watch over the people who are watching this podcast and this video today, that you would bless them, that you would bless their businesses, that you would give them power, give them results, give them clarity of speech and mind to help the customers in their areas, that they might be ethical, that they would be helpful, that they would do so in your name and for Jesus's name. In glory we ask, amen. So let's go ahead and get started and press dial. Boom. As you know, if this is your first time joining us, what you will probably hear, you'll hear the phone ding. And when it dings, that's when you know we've actually got a live person on the phone. So what we've done, we've started calling all the brand new expireds, being that it's 8:30 in the morning. Many of these people, sometimes they're not necessarily going to be there, and they may not necessarily be in the best of mood. So you definitely want to make sure that you're always in top shape. You always want to make sure that you drink lots of water.
Hello?
Oh, hi, this is Carl. How are you?
Who's calling?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name's Carl. It sounds like I might actually have the wrong number. I apologize. My name's Carl Krenzel. I was looking for the Sadlers. They own some property over there on China Rose. Is that your home?
That's us.
Oh, well,
yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, my name again is Carl Krenzel. I'm a broker here in town. I noticed it went off the market. Did you folks, is it still for sale, or did you sell it, or whatever happened with that?
No, we decided to take it off the market.
Oh, okay.
And really, we can't sell until they finish the road behind me.
Oh
Um,
gosh. Okay, so
I back up to La Cholla.
yeah, I understand. Yeah, when you do sell this, where are you going to go next? Are you staying here in town, or?
Oh yeah, we're old. We're just going to downsize when we feel like it.
Well, God bless your heart.
Yeah, we don't have to move. So yeah.
Okay, no worries. And so your feeling is that the road construction on La Cholla has been disrupting your sale?
Oh yeah,
I
they have the
believe it.
dumpster right behind us. So
Oh my gosh, God bless your heart.
yeah, and they're putting all the old pipes in there.
Oh goodness,
So, yeah,
goodness.
it's going to be a while.
All right. Well, listen, Miss Sadler, I appreciate your patience with me. Since I've got you here anyway, do you know of anybody maybe who has an unwanted property that I could buy for cash?
No, and everything I have, we refer to our broker because he's our son-in-law.
Well, God bless his heart. What's his name? Maybe I know him.
No, he's new. Greg Hunter.
Okay, yeah, I don't know him, but I'm sure he's a good man. What company does he work for?
Keller Williams.
Okay, well, that's all right. He's a good man anyway. All right, well, listen, you have a great day, okay?
Thank you.
God bless. Bye-bye. All right, well, I'm not going to worry about that one, obviously. There's no sense in been arguing with people, especially if she's got a son in the business there. That's going to be a little bit more interesting, I can imagine. All right, so let's get cracking on the news today. So the first story I wanted to bring to your attention was the homeownership rate in the United States dipped in the first quarter, which is the first time in 2 years. Now, if you've listened to this podcast for the last couple of days, or if you've watched on Sell More Homes Now on YouTube, if you've watched me go over the news while I prospect with you, you know what I've been telling you with regards to the market. I've been telling you that the signs all around point to a pooling in the market that is unusual. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean that the market is collapsing. That does not mean the sky is falling, that we need to worry like Chicken Little or be concerned for the future. Not at all. But what it does mean is it means that we need to be aware of what's going on, because if you're a real estate professional and you're talking to people in the public, okay, they're counting on you to give them the analysis of the facts, of the data that they can easily get. Now, look, the cold hard truth, if you will, about real estate is that every single one of us have more access to information than we've ever had. I don't even.
Hello.
Good morning. This is Carl Krenzel.
Hello.
Hi, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Who is this?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. My name is Carl Krenzel. It sounds like I might actually have the wrong number. I apologize. I was looking for the owners of a property on Desert Highlands. Is that your property?
Well, we're not interested in selling it. That's why we're calling. So thank you.
So if I was to give you cash, you wouldn't want that? I guess that's a no. No problem. That's no problem at all. It's better to tell me now than to have me find out 3 months from now. So when you think about it, you know the signs of what's going on. And here we have, according to the Housing and Urban Development, the U.S. national vacancy rate in the first quarter of 2019 was 7% for rental housing and 1.4% for homeowner housing. So there we go. Let me put that into perspective for you. First quarter 2019, that was 7% for rental housing. 93% of all the houses that were all the rental properties that were for rent, it looks like 93% of them were rented up and only 7% were vacant. Wow. That's impressive, right? And it also said that the rental vacancy rate of 7% was virtually unchanged from the rate of the first quarter of 2018, but it was point. Hello, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I think I have the wrong number. I'm looking for Frank. Is Frank around?
I'm sorry?
I said, I think I have the wrong number. I was looking for Frank. Is Frank around?
Oh, no, you got the wrong number.
Okay, sorry. Have a great day. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye. So with properties that you don't want to deal with, that particular fellow, he's a nice guy, don't get me wrong. I'm sure he's a good person. The problem is that it's vacant land out of the middle of nowhere, and I don't want to deal with that. So just sometimes it's easier for me to ask for Frank, who's just not a real person. So anyway, it said that the vacancy rate was 0.4% percentage points higher than the rate in the fourth quarter in 2018. The homeowner vacancy rate of 1.4% is 1.1 percentage point lower than the rate. So all these numbers back and forth percentages, if you were to boil it down, Joel Kahn, the vice president of economic and of industry forecast, says, quote, the home ownership rate decreased to 64.2% from 64.8% in the first quarter, the first drop in 2 years. As seen in today's report, the market volatility and decline in consumer confidence that we saw in late 2018 and early 2019 seem to confirm what other housing indicators showed: a somewhat slow first couple months of the year for the housing market. Okay, great. What does this mean to you? Now, as a real estate professional, I'm always sitting here trying to help you figure out ways that you can use headlines and news in your practice, because the truth really is, when you get down to a homeowner, when you're sitting there talking to a live one, okay, they many times don't take your word at face value. I think we could all agree that sometimes they say, well, gosh, Zillow says this, or the newspaper says that. I read on the news, the market's doing this. Hey, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Who is this?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name's Carl Krenzel. How are you?
All right.
I'm not sure if I have the right person. I apologize. I'm actually looking for the owner of a property on Calle La Paz. Is that your property?
No, I just got a call from from the same little listing earlier.
Oh gosh.
I rented that place like 10 years ago. So yeah, I've never owned that place.
Oh man, I'm sorry, brother. Okay, well, no worries. Well, listen, since I've got you anyway, do you know anybody who's got an unwanted home I could buy?
I do not. Sorry.
Oh, okay, no problem. Well, listen, I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a great day, okay?
Yep, you too. I hope you find what you're looking for.
Thanks, brother. Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye-bye. All right. So, so what does this mean? I mean, how do you take headlines from the paper that your clients are reading and then translate it into a sales situation that you can use then to either get a lower price? Let's think about this in a multiple of applications. If you're a wholesaler, you'll want to use headlines and news to help you get that lower price, right? If you're a realtor and you have a listing and somebody's not pricing their property appropriately,
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice
they're not
messaging
pricing their
system.
property appropriately.
Indeed.
If they're not taking appropriate steps to reduce their price when they need to, then by printing some of these things out and using these things I'm about to tell you, you could potentially get a price reduction. Let's say you're a realtor going on a listing presentation, and you know how it is. I mean, there's people out there.
064.
There's people out there in the market as realtors who will buy the listing. And if you're not a realtor and you don't know what buying the listing means, let me just briefly explain what it means. Buying the listing means you go on a listing presentation, and while you're at the listing presentation, you tell the seller a price will never, ever, ever sell the property. I mean, it's just nigh unto impossible that they will ever get that price. But the question obviously is, well, why do agents do this? Why do agents buy listings? Well, many times it's greed. They don't want somebody else to have it. So they'll just bid it up, trying to figure, I'll beat the seller up on the price later. If you're a smart investor, if you're a smart realtor, if you're a smart wholesaler, what you're going to do is you're going to learn what the press is saying, and then you're going to use it and mold that to fit your presentation. I'm not saying use it and mold it to fit a script or an agenda, or to mold or persuade somebody's mind in error. But I do think that you need to be a beacon of hope. You need to be a warning lamp. I mean, for goodness sake, if you're a ship going into a harbor full speed ahead, and you think that the sea is clear ahead of you, all of a sudden there's shoals and rocks and the shore, and here you are as a watchman on the side, and you see this ship coming. If you don't go out and raise the alarm and raise the hey, there's a rocks and shoals ahead. You need to slow down. You need to turn the other way. You need to change your direction. You need to reinvest in another way. Whatever it is, if you don't say those things, if you're not the person who's in there making the difference, if you're not standing in the gap, who is? What? You shouldn't be paid. Honestly, you shouldn't be paid a X% commission. You shouldn't be paid a Y% commission. Whatever you think your commission is, you're not worth it. In my opinion, you're absolutely unworthy of your commission if you are unwilling to confront your sellers with the reality of the market. I mean, if you are in your area right now, how can you look at the market you're in and tell me that you're experiencing something other than this? Now, unless, of course, you're in Florida, where the home prices and the sales have been shooting through the roof. But it seems like everybody else, or most other people, are having a distinct problem with pooling real estate in their market. This is... Hello?
Hello?
Oh, hi. My name's Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
I'm not certain if I have the right person, so I apologize in advance. I was actually looking for the owners of a property over there on Tanque Verde. Might be actually owned by the Krenzers. Is that?
It's sold.
Hey, congratulations. Okay, cool. Since I got you anyway, do you know anybody who's got an unwanted property I could buy? No, guess not. All right, that's cool. So let me just go ahead and sold. All right, so sold. Okay, next. All right, so if you're in a marketplace, like most marketplaces in the United States, you're experiencing pooling. Pooling is where, just like every other year, people come on the market and they put their home on the market for sale, and it, they sell it, they put it on the market January or whatever, and it sells February, March. They get their money in April. They go to Cancun or on vacation or whatever it is they're going to do, and then they come back.
Hello?
Oh, hi. This is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
And how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. I'm actually better than I deserve. I'm not sure if I have the right person, though. I apologize. I was actually looking for the owner of a home on Paseo Ventoso. Is that your property?
Okay. In regards to?
Yeah, no problem.
Yes,
So, okay, great. Okay, well, again, my name's Carl Krenzel. I'm a broker here in town who buys property, and I noticed that your home went off the market the other day. Did you still want to sell it?
If I have the right buyer, yeah.
I love that. Okay, that's a great answer. Perfect. Okay. Well, tell me a little bit about what's going on. Is it currently available? Because it looked like it went off the market. Is it just for sale by owner now?
Well, it's available for sale with the right buyer, like I just said. It's just not on the market quite yet.
No worries. Yeah, I was just kind of making sure I wasn't stepping on any realtor toes or anything like that. So, all right. May I ask, how much is it currently for sale then?
Well, you probably saw the last listing price.
Well, yes, ma'am, that is true, but that was when it was listed with an agent. And if you're not listed with an agent now, I don't think it's hardly fair for me to pay a commission. Do you?
Well, I would have to take offers.
Okay, no problem. Well, when would be a good time for me to come out and take a quick look at your place and see what it has to offer? Have you got some time?
Oh.
I don't know, Friday or well, actually, I can't do it Friday. I can do it Saturday.
I'm actually super busy until next week.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand you correctly. I'm willing to pay you a price that you feel is acceptable for your home. You're telling me that you don't want my money for at least another week. Is that what I'm hearing?
You're funny.
Well, I'm being accurate. I'm not trying to be funny.
mean,
I'm just trying to be accurate. Is that accurate?
If you know the area's market,
I do.
And you saw the pictures,
I have.
You can kind of. I don't really want to waste my time with somebody that's lowballing me extremely low.
Who says I'm going to lowball you? And I'm sorry. Please forgive me in advance. I'm not trying to get off on the wrong foot. My name again is Carl, and I'm just trying to make this as simple as possible. I understand if you've had people kind of lowballing you or whatever, and I'm even willing to make a full price offer if we can come to price and terms that are acceptable for everybody. But on the other hand, I have to kind of know that I don't want to waste my time either and walk into a house that smells like cat urine with a lady who doesn't want to sell. Does that make sense? You don't want to waste your time, and I don't want to waste mine either.
But if you're somebody that's trying to flip, it's probably not going to work for you.
Who says I'm trying to flip it? Elizabeth.
I don't know. I'm asking.
Well, Elizabeth,
are you trying to flip it?
No. Elizabeth, I'm not asking you where you're going. I'm not asking you what you're doing. I'm not asking you what you're doing when you sell the home. I'm cool with telling you. I'm willing with either renting it out or whatever. I don't know what I'm going to do depending on what I purchase it at, but it really sounds to me like you're not really that interested in selling. Am I more accurate to hear that?
Well, you can come to whatever conclusion you like. I'm just telling you it's going to be based around that price. So if you're not looking in that price range,
it's not that's not the issue. I mean, that's not,
okay. I'm just saying that because I don't want to waste neither one of our time.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what.
Be in that price range.
Tell you what, let's do this. All right. Since we're sort of at an impasse, but we both don't want to waste each other's time, how about we do this? Why don't we find a time that's convenient for you that I will swing by? I will take a quick look at your property. I'll get in and out. I will meet you, shake your hand, make sure it doesn't smell like cat urine, see what that second story is about, and then I'm going to be out of your hair.
Okay, see what that second story. It's really main living.
I'm sorry.
Areas on the first floor. Second story is below, just the extra.
Right. I'm just kind of looking at it from the pictures on Zillow, and it's obviously the pictures are one thing, but
right.
So like I said, I'm not trying to make it difficult. Whatever's easiest for you. I'm at your disposal. But on the other hand, I don't want to waste your time. You don't want to waste mine. So it looks like we're kind of like a cat and a mouse at this point.
Okay, I have an appointment, but so are you with a realtor company? Or
I am a realtor. I'm a broker here at Sotheby's International Realty. Yes, ma'am. How about Tuesday? Would Tuesday work around 4?
No, it wouldn't.
Okay.
You're not going to come here with. Are you going to be coming to my home with paperwork to try to list it?
No, I'm not even going to mention the L word.
No. Okay.
If that makes you feel better,
Yes, because I'm not ready to deal with that. I've got a lot of things going on right now.
I get it. Yeah.
Well, if you really want to look at it, you can go. You can meet me there at 4:00 tomorrow.
Well, I can't do it tomorrow because, again, as I mentioned, I'm over here at Sotheby's International Realty, and between 1 and 5 tomorrow, I'm scheduled to handle any walk-in clients that we have. So I'm not going to be able to leave tomorrow, but I could meet you Monday or Tuesday. Say?
Can't do any other day except Friday, and then I'm going to be busy.
You can't do any other day. Okay, well, listen, I appreciate your time.
Until Friday. I'm sorry, I got to go.
Have a great day. You can clearly see right there, guys, why it is that, people don't sell their homes and think this, if this poor realtor that had to deal with her, my gosh, you see what I'm saying? It's just, it's unbelievable. When you think about it, people are not. Hey, everybody. Thanks, BJ. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate everybody. I just kind of flipped over to the live control room screen. I saw everybody actually logged in. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. I really appreciate you. I hope that you'd have a chance to share this on your social media. As you can see with this last lady here, it just simply wasn't really an opportunity, but you don't know.
Hello?
Hey there, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
I'm right. Who's this?
I'm sorry, my name is Carl. I might actually have the wrong number. I was looking for the owner of a property on Rock Ridge. Is that your property?
No.
Oh, gosh, I'm so sorry. Okay. Well, listen, since I've got you anyway, do you know anybody who's got an unwanted home that I could buy for cash?
I do not actually.
All right, no worries. Well, listen, I appreciate your time and I hope you have a great day. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So, but that lady, Mike Ferry taught me a huge lesson early in my career, and I will pass it on to you. I've said it 100 times on my podcast. I've said it 100 times on Sell More Homes Now on YouTube. I'll say it 100 times more until I die. If you generate, you don't have to tolerate. Okay. Now imagine that poor realtor who had to deal with that woman trying to sell her property. She's only going to show it on a particular day. She only wants a particular price. I'm telling her I'm willing to pay full price and she's still giving me all these troubles. What kind of buyer, what kind of seller is that? She's not particularly motivated. And so a lot of times when you're prospecting, you tend to get really frustrated with that. And you think, gosh, banging my head against the wall with these people. Truth is that if you play around with it a little bit, you'll kind of start to, if you start questioning them, right? Gosh, how does that make sense? If I buy it, and that's why as an investing realtor, you can really make some bold claims because believe it or not, you can pay full price. You can pay full price. What's that? You can pay full price. Yes, on a lease purchase, lease option, doesn't mean that's what they want to take. But you know what? If you're willing to talk about selling your home, that's all I need you to do. I just need you to be willing to talk about it. Because if you're willing to talk about it, well, then we can have a conversation. If we can have a conversation, then I really believe I can bring some value to you. I believe in my heart, there's so many things that I know from the relocation programs to financing to
Please leave your message
to places that you should avoid or a great place to go for dinner. I mean, what?
Hi there.
Hi there.
Okay, you've reached Sue.
Where when you think about it, you have a lot to offer, and so don't let people just push you around or sit there and talk to you like you're some kind of piece of crap that you don't know what you're talking about. Nonsense. You buy more homes and sell more homes every single day than they do. So don't let people push you around. All right, so let's jump into story number 2. Florida and their home prices. God bless their hearts. Florida home prices and sales continue to rise in April. According to the Florida Realtors, Florida housing market reported more sales, higher median sales prices, and increased inventory, active listings, that is, of course. Let me just skip this fellow right here. Bam. Boom. All right. It said that in April 2019, compared to a year ago, right? The sales of single families homes statewide totaled 26,992 homes, up 6.2% over April 2018. Wow. Okay. All right. So if I'm a Florida realtor, if I'm a Florida wholesaler, if I'm a Florida realtor who invests, okay, this is excellent news because this
Call has been forwarded
tells
to
you
an
a
automated
couple
voice
things,
messaging system.
right? It tells you about their property.
5206.
There we go. Tells you about properties in that area.
Please leave your message for 5.
That there's a lot of people who are looking to live in that area. And that's super helpful because as long as...
Good morning.
Good morning. Is this Keith?
Yes, it is.
Oh, hi, Keith. This is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Fine, Carl. How are you today?
Boy, I'll tell you, I am blessed and highly favored. I'm not sure if I've got the right guy, so I apologize in advance. Are you the fella who happens to own that property on Fort Lowell?
Yes, sir.
Outstanding. I noticed it was, I guess it was off the market the other day. Is it still available for sale? Whatever happened with that?
I'm still living in it.
long story short, a little personal information on whatever. Yeah, I'm still living in a house.
Okay.
So,
All right. No worries. Is it still listed with an agent for sale?
no, sir.
Okay. Did you still want to sell it?
No, sir.
I can't say that I blame you. That's a great little area over there. Okay.
Right. Those are great areas, but thank you.
No worries.
I know you're just doing your job.
Well, no worries.
Good.
Real quick, at what price would you become a seller?
Right now, I don't want to sell the house. So
Okay. All right. No worries.
I can't replace it. Yeah, that's it. I can't replace the house.
Fair enough. All right. Well, since I've got you anyway, do you know anybody else who's got an unwanted home that I could buy for cash?
Nope.
Yeah, I'm sort of facing the same problem you're facing. You had mentioned that it's hard to replace your property there, and I can certainly understand. I'm having a very difficult time finding unwanted homes that I can buy for cash. There's not too many people around that have that issue.
Yeah. Well.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
well, listen.
whatever. I'm here. There was family issues that did or didn't make it happen.
Okay.
So that's why it's there.
No worries.
Okay.
Well, listen, Keith, you don't have to get into it with me. I can tell by the tone that there's something, and I'll be praying for you. I hope that it works for you. Okay.
That's fine. But Carl, I appreciate the call, sir.
Yes, sir. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Okay. So, in this particular circumstance, I didn't push him any further because, like I said in a couple other videos, you can't push people beyond the point of no return with 3 closes. Have you thought about selling your property? You still want to sell it? Do you know of anybody else? Gosh, have you thought about selling it at all? That sort of thing. If you ask them those questions 3 times, generally, if they're all in the negative, I mean, you could continue to close, but now it becomes a judgment call. It's a judgment call between the people who are waiting for you to call versus a guy who is rapidly becoming less and less a possibility. With him, he's saying it's got family issues. He wouldn't sell it even if he could. He couldn't sell it. There was, some other issues. So I didn't really see the value, if you will, in pressing him. Certainly, Ann Inc., a good coach that was with the Mike Ferry organization for a number of years. I don't know if she still is, taught me that you don't want to buy in to their apparent lack of motivation. Because sellers are going to do that. They're going to spin that line to you that they're not motivated, that they don't have to sell, that it's not that important. You don't want to buy into that. I didn't get that feeling with this guy. I got the feeling as though it was an issue outside of that. So I don't know. Sometimes I might be wrong. I frequently am. All right. So back to Florida. When you think about it, the sales of these single-family homes is really rising. And it said that the condo townhouse properties rose year over year for the 88th consecutive month. Statewide median sales price for single-family existing homes was $259,000. Okay, that's up 2.6% from the previous year. Now, if you're a wholesaler, admittedly, this could pose a little bit of a problem for you. Because obviously with values going up, it's difficult if you're trying to buy a property and then turn around and sell it. On the other hand, it can work to your favor because people who are not necessarily accepting of your offer today might be willing to accept it 2 months down the line. And as a market is increasing like that, sometimes homes that you couldn't buy 8 months ago, 9 months ago, now maybe they've squeezed into that area where maybe you might be able to work something out because the market is contracted, or perhaps now there's a new place that you can operate. So it's always something you want to be aware of. And in Florida, if I've got a list here, if you're on the podcast at sellmorehomesnow.com, you will definitely want to come over here to YouTube and check this out because I've got a list put out by the Florida Association of Realtors that I'm just kind of demonstrating to you that shows you a list of all the places in Florida that have gone up in value and the percentages by which they have. So just as a side note, If you're watching the podcast right here or listening, we've now switched over into the cold call section, into the high turnover area. So we're done with the expired listings. There was only about 33 of them to call. We called through all of those. Now we're calling back into that high turnover area that is central Tucson that I really like for investment property. So that being said, let's continue on with Florida. In Florida, it says that in the state of Florida, Cape Coral and Fort Myers, it says, they had 1,362 sales in April 2019, which is down 6.8% year over year change, right? But the area that has one of the largest areas of increase, this is insane to me. And if you're from Florida, shout out to you. If you're from Panama City, Florida, or from the Lakeland, Winter Haven area, God bless you. Boy, I'll tell you, because those areas have had an 18% year over year change in terms of sale. I mean, when you look at just simply, where is that? There it is. Lakeland, Winter Haven. They had 1,069 sales. The median sales price of $205,000, right? Which is a year over year change of 18%. And the median sales price has gone up 5.4% in a year. In a year, whoop, it's gone up. What does that mean to you as a real estate investor? What does that mean to you as a realtor? What does that mean to you as somebody who's practicing in that area? That means I need to be out in those areas right now, knocking on those doors, talking to the people, spreading the gospel that, hey, if you need to sell, now's the time, because everybody is trying to make their money. And guess what? It's only going to go down. It's not going to get tons and tons better, guys. Okay, I said it. I don't see how this is sustainable. I do not see how you can continue to raise the sales prices. I don't see how you can continue to raise the values. I don't see how people can sustain their debt. I don't see how people getting out of high school and college. There's people graduating college today in May. Well, maybe last week.
Hello.
Hi, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today? Hello? Sounded too much like a voice machine again. All right, try that again. This market, you got people coming out of college who have enormous amounts of school debt, enormous amounts of college debt, okay? And they remember what it was like when the market took a tank, and they're not interested, okay? Millennials, younger folks, they're not necessarily interested in getting into a situation where they own a property or where they own a massive amount of debt. They're not into that. It's just not in their realm of thinking. And if it was in their realm of thinking, many of them cannot afford it simply because of this overwhelming school debt. It's not like every kid who went to college got himself or herself a degree from a scholarship. They many times had to take on school debt, and now here they are. How are they going to afford a smaller home? And if they can't afford, look at the way this moves up. And if you want to talk about REOs, if you want to talk about foreclosures, if you want to talk about how the market works as whole, you have to understand where it begins, right? Look at this. Yeah, I know, right? You catch their name, you put it off cause, right? So you're kind of like, you open it like, hey, this is Carl. Is this? I'm not sure if I got the right person. When I say that, I always put a little pause in there because sometimes you can kind of, like you said, tell if it's the right person or not. In any event, when you look at the holistic part of the market, okay, from a lower end, a buyer, guy just getting out of college, typically, if you look at the typical buyer, typically it is a college-aged woman. Okay, it's not guys. Guys ain't out there, looking to build a home and all that. Usually it's college women. Okay, when they get out of college, trying to buy a house and trying to buy usually something a little bit smaller. If they have an enormous amount of college debt, okay, they can't afford it. And if they do afford it, then they got the college debt and they got the house debt. Now, you know how it is. Okay, we are all adults here. You fall in love. Oh, she's the one for me. And everybody gets married. And all of a sudden, a condo gets sold and we're going to go buy something bigger. Now, if you're both getting married and you both have debt, now you both have things you're trying to buy up. Think about this middle manager. Okay, the middle manager's living in town. He's lived a good life. He's been responsible with his bills. He's paid everything off. And now he tries to sell his property because he wants to move on up into a luxury property, a golf community, maybe a 55 and older community or whatever. The guy who's going to buy his house is this young family, people with, maybe some kids or whatever. And what if they got this college debt? What if they're trying to sell their townhouses and they can't afford to buy this guy's home? And if they can't afford to buy this guy's home, then he can't afford to buy that guy's home in the luxury market. That's how this all works together. And in a REO sense, in a foreclosure environment, this is what we saw in 2008, 2005, 6, 7, 8. When things started to collapse, I was knee deep in the REO business. I was working for Deutsche Bank, Ocwen, One West, Bank America. I mean, you name them, I was working for them. I was slinging these things. But the reality is, the people who were losing, how you knew that the market was starting to collapse, this is how you knew. It's because it wasn't the lower end guy necessarily losing his house. It wasn't him, because he couldn't afford a house anyway. It's the upper end guy who gets transferred to Tuscaloosa, Alabama or whatever, because the market in his area, they're closing the shop down, they're reorganizing, they're closing things up or whatever. In a shrinking market, in a declining market, in a contracting market, businesses downsize. Middle managers, they get moved. And their big houses, who's going to buy them? Ultimately, they get back with a relocation company, or, sometimes they get foreclosed. And then the cycle goes downhill. And that's how this works. So when you see places like Florida having some of these amazing increases, okay, you need to be that watchman out there by the Rocky Shoals saying, guess what? You've got a good time right now. It is high time for you to sell. Okay? It's high time for you to sell. And believe you me, you're going to hear a lot of people in your marketplace tell you you're wrong. No, Carl. The market's always going to go up. Don't you worry. It's always going to be good. I have heard that. I can't tell you how many times. I heard that back in 2008 when I was doing foreclosures on the regular. I would see foreclosures coming in all the time. I'd get increased BPO orders, increased asking for what's this home worth, what's that home worth. And as I saw these things coming in, I knew banks are trying to evaluate properties. Banks are trying to decide, should we keep this in our inventory? Should we sell this off? Should we do this or that? And I realized it was people are making some decisions, right? It was at that time I started contacting my clients, contacting my centers of influence, and letting them know this market is changing. You've got to have the guts. You got to have the intestinal fortitude. You have to have the courage of your convictions to know what the market is doing. And believe it, if you have the strength to go to your customers and tell them, look, you need to sell now. You need to sell now, right now. Now is the appointed time. Today is the appointed day. You need to sell right now. Why? Because this market is on fire. It is going to destroy. It's going to be burned up, and there's going to be nothing left. Here's what I mean by this. All these homes, and I'm not saying catastrophic, fire from the sky, it's going to be 2008 again. No, but what I'm saying is that there has to come an end to this. And if it's going to take you, let's say you buy a house now, if it's going to take you 5 years to build up enough equity, to build up enough appreciation to where you can actually sell the property and not lose money, because that's how long it takes. It takes you 3 to 5 years. If you're not planning on owning a home for 3 to 5 years as a personal residence, okay, it's not a good idea to buy it, because you're not going to be able to turn it around in time and be able to pay your closing costs and the realtor fees and all the other stuff. So if that's true and you're doing it today, well, let me ask you a question. All right. If you're an investor out there, if you're a realtor who invests, if you're somebody out there who does what I do, well, let me ask you this. Would you personally, right now, buy a home in these prices and hold it for 5 years with the intent that you might sell it in 6 or 7 or 8? Would you do that? I'd be willing to bet you, like my daddy used to say, right? Money, marbles, or chalk, right? That you won't be willing to go ahead and buy a property that you're willing to hold 5, 6, 7, 8 years and then turn around and sell right now. You're not willing to do that because you and I both know, okay, 5 years, 6 years from now, this is 2019, okay? You figure 4 years from now is 2023, 5 years is 24, 6 years is 25, right? So 2025, what do you think the market's going to be like in 2025? What do you think? What does your gut tell you? I mean, that's what I always like to ask my clients. When they're like, well, gosh, I don't know. You've probably heard on the premium podcast. By the way, if you've not had a chance to listen to the premium podcast, you want to go. Gosh, you want to go to theredpillinvestor.com. You want to sign up for the premium podcast. Hi, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today? Oh, I'm so sorry. My name is Carl Krenzel. I'm not sure if I have the right person. I was actually looking.
Are you calling in regards to a patient? You're calling a business phone. So
it's a business. You say this is a business?
Business phone.
Oh gosh, I got the wrong person. I'm sorry. You have a great day. Thank you. All right, no worries. Okay, so we'll just get rid of them. Bam. So you and I both know, right, that if you bought a property today and you're going to live in it, now, I'm not talking investors. I'm not talking about flipping. I'm not talking about any of that crap. Okay. Put yourself as a regular Joe Schmuckatelli homeowner, home buyer out there. And you're saying to yourself, I'm only going to own this home 5, 6, maybe 7 years tops. And then I'm going to sell it. That's what I'm going to do. And you're firmly convinced that that is your strategy. Do you really think that's a good strategy? Honestly. Knowing what you know about the market right now, you don't have to tell me, well, gosh, Carl, I'm not a full-fledged realtor for 25, 40 years, 60 years, whatever. I don't have an appraiser's degree. I haven't done this for 10 minutes. I don't know. Whatever your excuse is, you both know that this is not sustainable. This is not sustainable. You just can't continue this. And to think that 5, 6 years from now, it's going to be any better is insanity. You need to be the client out there. Your agent out there you need to be the agent out there that's telling people, look, the storm is coming. You need to sell. You need to cash in while you can. If you've got investment properties, sell all of them, take all that money, put it into a multifamily or save it. Get ready because there's going to be some values that are going to be unbelievable around the corner. Unbelievable. The amount of debt that people have, the people living paycheck to paycheck, it won't take long. It will not take long. And those days are coming. All right, so let's get final into what you've been waiting for, what I've been waiting for. I'll be honest with you. I wanted to share this with you first up because I felt like if I shared this with you first up, you probably wouldn't want to see the rest of it. So I wanted to share it with you because honestly, after reading this, I might not want to do it. It says the best days of the year to sell a home revealed. Yes, your best days of the year to sell a home revealed. Now, I'm going to give you a tip, right? I'm going to give you a tip on what you can do to go ahead and generate some leads with this information, right? So what you want to do, you want to go over to the World Property Journal. All right, World Property Journal. I believe it's worldpropertyjournal.com. Definitely want to head over there and check out their website because what's going to happen, very good guess, BJ. Good guess. BJ says it's the summer after kids get out, right? Actually, there are 9 different days throughout the year that your sellers can earn an extra 10% on their home. If you're an investing realtor, if you're a realtor, if you're trying to go out there and make more money, if you're a wholesaler and you're trying to tell your investing clients what they can do to make more money, then this is a tip for you. So here's what you're going to want to do. Very simple. What you're going to want to do is go out to, as I mentioned, worldpropertyjournal.com. Okay. And look up their blog post called The Best Days of the Year to Sell a Home Revealed. And what you're going to want to do is print this out, right? And then check this out. You're going to love this. And if you're on the podcast at theredpillinvestor.com, you'll definitely want to head over to YouTube at Sell More Homes Now. There we go. You'll definitely want to head over to YouTube at Sell More Homes Now so you can see this graphic that I'm about to show. When you download their graphics, what you're going to see is a graphic that looks kind of like this. And what it's going to have.
Hello?
Hey there, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today? Dan? Zach? All right, no worries. Boom. So anyway, it's going to have this graphic, and it says, an analysis of 28.3 million home sales in the last 8 years, right? So what they've done, right? Adam Data Solutions, I'll get it right eventually. They compiled a list, a study, if you will, of over 28 million sales that they had completed in 8 years. I'm sorry, that they had tracked in 8 years. And what they had discovered, right, was that the median sales price and the value and the premium was rather pronounced on 9 specific days of the year. Now, I'm going to share these with you. And what I would do if I was a realtor or an investing realtor, I would go ahead and create a graphic like this, a white paper. You could just download this from their site, right? Put that in your Dropbox, right? Customize it a little bit. Maybe put, when you're thinking of selling, call me. If you need to get a current value of what a buyer would pay for your property, let me know. Something along those lines, right? And then what you're going to want to do is put that in your Dropbox, right? And then right there on your Facebook or your Instagram or your blog or whatever you've got as far as, hopefully you're using a blog. I'm hoping you are, okay? But if you aren't, make it available somewhere, somehow, where somebody can go to your Dropbox and download this, either through giving you their email address, or if you're like me, just, hey, take it for free, because you know that people are going to remember where they got the information from. Plus, you're going to put your name on it, and if they need to get and contact you, they will. My feeling is simply this, that these 9 days that represent a 10% premium, I want to go through them with you. But again, you can go ahead to go to Adam Data Solutions analysis of this, said that May 24th, all right, May 24th, holy cow, that's tomorrow. What? Tomorrow? Yes, tomorrow, May 24th. Holy cow, that is a premium day. Oh my goodness, I would definitely make a huge deal out of this. An enormous deal. Listen, if you've got a social media page or following, oh my goodness, I can't even imagine what I would say. I'm going to have to jump on this one myself. Holy cow. May 24th, it says that Adam Data Solutions analyzed 90,563 homes, right? The median sales price was 192.5. This is across the United States, right? And the median estimated value was 174,199. This is not Zillow coming up with a, automated.
Please leave your message.
With an automated value service that's just whack. I mean, this is Adam Data Solutions. These are people that provide the banks with their data, right? They're saying May 24th, tomorrow, okay, you have an opportunity to get,
please leave the message.
statistically, you have an opportunity to get 10.5% more on a premium than you would on a sale. The next day, June 20th. If I was you, I was thinking, just kind of brainstorming here, I would probably make like a calendar for myself, right? A marketing calendar even, right? June 30th said that they analyzed 110,000 homes. The median sales price was 199. The median value was 180. The premium, 10.6%. The next day, June 21st, right? You had said a minute ago, they're all in the summer. Well, it looks like I was wrong. I'd said that they were spread out. I had looked at the wrong thing. It turns out that the highest days are actually in May and June. So I guess I was wrong. There are better days, obviously, throughout the year, but the best days, May and June. So we got June 20th, we just talked about. We have June 21st, said that they analyzed 93,000.
Hello?
Hi, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today? It's okay. I'm not a recording. Is this Ann? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah. Hi, I'm not sure if I've got the right number. Can you hear me okay? My name's Carl. I'm not sure if I have the right number. I was looking for the Porters.
What are you selling, Carl?
Well, I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm actually trying to give you money. Do you own that property on Rosewood? I was wondering if perhaps you'd be interested in selling it to me. Would you?
I would not.
I can't say that I blame you. That's a beautiful home. I'm trying to find somebody in that neighborhood who might be interested in selling, but unfortunately, nobody wants to sell. I can't
There's
say.
a ton of houses for sale on the street. Just check them out.
Well, that's
Okay.
certainly true. I've seen those, but none of them are the way I like them. Do you know of any? Honestly, I think what I'm going to do is just get. I think I'm just one of these days. I'm going to play. What is that? Lotto, right? I'm going to win like $1 billion, and I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm going to be like one of those guys that goes to the attorney and gets it all set up to where nobody knows it's me. And then I'm going to call these people again. I'm going to be like, hey, it's Carl, Realty Executives. Just call and see if I can buy your house. And then when they're mean or disrespectful or whatever, I'm going to walk over to their home with a check written out. And I'm going to say, if you just tell me what your name is, I'll write your name right here and we can just buy your home for cash. What will it be? And then they tell me their name and then I just rip it up. That's just like a fantasy that rolls around in my head. But anyway, all right. So June 21st, right? June 21st, 93,878 homes were analyzed. The median sales price jumped up to 200,000. The estimated value was 180, which means at 10.7%. And it gets even better, right? So May 31st. Remember, May 24th was the first, June 20th, June 21st. Now we're talking May 31st. May 31st. What is May 31st? Let me check my calendar real quick. May 31st. Is that Memorial Day? No, that's the 27th. Okay. Whew. Scared me there for a minute. Okay. May 31st. They had 134,000 sales that they had analyzed, right? And out of those 134,000 sales that they'd analyzed, they discovered that the median sales price was $207,570. Now, when you think about it, Adam Data Solutions, again, these are the people who determine what the valuations are for the banks. They're not out there willy-nilly coming up with strange values, right? So they said that the median estimated value for those 134,000 homes was $187,000. If you add all those numbers up, put it all into a blender and press bzz, it'll come out with 10.7% premiums. Look, you have got to tell your sellers that.
Call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
Hold on just a second.
Yeah, their anger.
Is
Oh, that's
not
not even the right
available.
guy. Holy cow.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1
Delete
for more
this.
options.
There we go. So,
If you are satisfied with your message, press 1 to listen to your message. Press 2 to erase
sure how
and
that happened.
re-record. Press 3 to continue recording where you left off. Press 4 to send your message with normal delivery. Press 1. Thank you. Your message has been sent. Goodbye.
not sure how that worked, but okay. Whatever. All right. Let's see here. Let's get this dialer back up and running here. So if I was a realtor, I would be hitting up the sellers that I have with this information. I would be letting them know, look, you have got to understand May 24th, June 20th, June 21st, May 31st, and of course, the last day, June 28th. June 28th, okay, these 5 days are the top days that you could sell your property for the top money. And I would let this information go from the rooftops. I would tell everybody. Any way I knew how, I would let them know. June 28th, here's what happened. 112,000 homes were analyzed. $205,000 was the median sales price. The median estimated value, 185. Seller premium, 10.8%. Okay, now, if you come from the podcast and you go to Sell More Homes Now on YouTube.com, or if you're at Sell More Homes Now, and you go to Adam Data Solutions and you download this graphic, okay, and you create a white paper for yourself that you can give to your clients, this is something that you want to let your sellers know. And here's why. Look, May, okay, they had 90,000 homes that they'd analyzed. In June, there was 110. In June 20th, it was 93. May 31st, 134. There are prices going up. homes going down, you have got to sell while you can. That's the whole thrust of this. Guys, use the education that you can from the papers, from these data sources to go ahead and let people know about the reality of your market. Because if you don't, your competitors are just going to lie to them and tell them, hey, guess what? The market keeps going up. Let's just list. It's going to be fine. And then 3 months from now, you're going to be calling them as an expired listing, and it's going to be all that much harder. Tell them the truth now while you can. Guys, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Let's go ahead and quickly go over our contacts. We didn't make any appointments today, I don't think. It didn't work out very well for appointments. Worked out pretty well, though, for our calls. We did manage to get a couple good calls in. Mostly, it seems that quite a few of these were canceled listings. May 23rd. So what we did, we made 32 calls to canceleds and expireds. There were 32 contacts, I should say, 32 people, families, right, that we were trying to get a hold of. There were 33 in the area that I like to work, which makes a total of 65 families that we tried to reach out and talk to this morning. We made 104 calls. We talked to only 8 people. And we set 12 voicemails, didn't make any appointments. So if you're listening last week, yesterday, and the day before, we kind of keep an eye of what the funnel looks like as far as calls versus appointments versus listings. So that way you can kind of get a feel of at least how effective I've been, right? So far that we've been doing this, we made 151 contacts to real people. Some of them have been actual owners. Some of them have just been straight gold. But out of those 151 people, we've set 6 appointments, right? Which is a 3.97% conversion ratio. Here or there, we'll see what happens. I've got several appointments coming up for this week. So a couple quick things I'd want once again to share to you. If you're watching this, I would highly recommend that you go ahead, press like, press subscribe, and then go ahead and follow me on Sell More Homes Now. BJ asks a couple quick questions. He says, what dialer do you use? That is a great question, BJ. I typically use the Storm dialer that comes from RedX. RedX is a great company that I like very much. And I will admit their services are a little expensive. However, they are definitely worth it because their numbers are phenomenal. Their dialer is easy to work with. And it's certainly, as a realtor and an investor, they have a lot of products that you might want to consider. So check out the redpillinvestor.com. If you've been following us on iTunes, I have a lot of our podcasts there, including this. This will be on there as well as a podcast. If you're following along on iTunes, you might have noticed that there is a difference in the numbers and the numbering, like 508, 509, 511, whatever, right? And there's skipping numbers. If you notice that they're skipping numbers, it's because they're premium podcasts. Those podcasts are not uploaded by iTunes, and they don't get shared because they don't make any money. And iTunes doesn't make any money on those. And because they don't share them. So if you are trying to get a hold of an actual listing presentation, if you want to listen in on presentations, if you want to listen in on a wholesale transaction, if you want to listen in on me talking to a buyer and how to get a wholesale buyer to sign this or sign that, if you want to be behind the scenes on any of the deals that we're doing and you want to support the podcast in any way, then I would consider it a personal favor if you would even consider prayerfully joining us at the redpillinvestor.com premium podcast. To get there, simply go straight to our website, theredpillinvestor.com, and you will see the subscription button right there at the top. You can find a lot of other products that are free, well over 500 podcasts that are designed helping people just like you. BJ says, we use Phone Burner, but Mojo and TMax were alternatives. Keep grinding and love up the contact. Love it. Love it. I appreciate that, BJ. Phone Burner, I've used Sales Dialer before. Sales Dialer was a good one. It was just a straight dialer. It had 4 lines, but you just had to put in the data, and that was kind of problematic. I've also used Mojo. Mojo is another one that I really like, and I've also used Vulcan. The problem with Vulcan and Mojo, I don't necessarily think that their numbers are that high quality. I've just had too many bad experiences. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you tuning in today. Thank you for paying attention to the podcast. Thank you for buying the books, and thank you for supporting my podcast. If you can't buy a book, download a free script. We got tons of scripts for free, tons of free episodes. My intent is to help you. Thank you so much for paying any attention to me, and I hope you have a powerful sales day. Bye-bye.